I'm Angel, and this is The Mummy Demastered, a sort of tie-in video game to 2017's box office bomb, The Mummy, the one with Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise. So what type of game is this? The Mummy Demastered is a Metroidvania-style adventure game using 16-ish bit graphics, similar to those from the days of the Super Nintendo, with plenty of success. I played my copy on PS5, but you can get this game for basically every current system that's out. I believe you can play like in almost anything. So if you haven't, I highly suggest you do. Spoiler warning for a game that came out a while back. So let's start off with the story. You're a special agent, not Tom Cruise though, even though this is a sort of a tie-in game. And Russell Crowe wants you to kill the mummy. And that's it. Nothing groundbreaking or even interesting about it. Metroidvanias aren't known for having heavy stories, but this one barely even tries. Now the controls are a bit cumbersome. It sucks you can't shoot and move while holding onto a ceiling. It felt very unresponsive sometimes when you're trying to make a very precise jump. Granted, you rarely ever have to make those precise jumps, but when I tried to, it was very unresponsive, and it was a huge missed opportunity because you do get an ability that lets you climb and latch onto the ceilings, but you can't really shoot while moving. You can shoot while you're up there, but not while you're moving, which to me, it seems like a dumb decision. I mean, I guess because you're using both hands, but still, like, I don't know, man, like, it's something like I would have liked for it to be done. Anyways, moving on to game mechanics. You have a gun and you have bombs, and that's it. You shoot. You have a variety of guns. You can shoot them. All guns have different statistics. The game fails to tell you what those are and what they're good at, but you can figure it out by yourself through trial and error. You have bombs, and the bombs are big damage. They're very few. You can get more as you kill enemies. Enemies, as you kill them, they spawn items that you can collect, you know, like to refresh your ammunition and your bombs. There's only 3 types of bombs: the regular bombs, the fire bombs that spread a little bit, and then the C4. The game doesn't really tell you what the C4 is really good use for, but we'll go more into detail of that later on. You do have a dodge roll, but the dodge roll doesn't grant any invincibility frames. I wish that it did. It felt like it should have, to be quite honest, because really the dodge roll doesn't do much. You can duck through attacks just fine without the dodge roll. The dodge roll isn't faster than regular running, so honestly I don't know why that's there, to go through low ceilings, but at that point you could have just had a crouching mechanic. You have knockback, and the knockback is very fucking annoying in this game. You do get an ability that lets you remove the knockback, but you get it near the end of the game, so Alright, so let me talk about the C4 bombs quickly. The game doesn't tell you, but you can use them to blow up metal barriers. I got to a point that you needed the C4 to get through the metal barriers, and I got the C4, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's a bomb that you can put somewhere and then blow it up later. That's cool, and I imagine that deals more damage because it's fucking C4, but the game never... The game usually, when you get a new item, they tell you what is it good for, you know. You can use this item for this, you can use this item for that, but the C4 is just, it's an explosive, and that's it. So I actually had to look online how to progress through a certain area, because the game was not telling me, and then I find out, oh, you can use the C4 to blast open the metal doors. It would have been really nice if the game would have told you. Anyway, so as per other Metroidvanias, you get gear to improve your traversal. This one, however, is very meandering and middle of the road. There's no double jump you would imagine that you would get in other Metroidvanias or anything really fancy like that, with the exception of one ability that again you get near the end of the game that you can sort of use like a double jump. It's like a shine spark, you know, like the shine spark from Metroid. Yeah, so basically what you get here is an increased moving speed and higher jumps. That's basically what it is. You get a moon jump and you can run faster. Those are the abilities you get for traversal, which is, you know, it's stuff that I wouldn't mind in a regular Metroidvania game if you get better shit later, but when that's basically what you get. So you eventually get, like I mentioned before, something akin to the Shine Spark from Metroid Prime series, and there is a Super Shine Spark, you know, like the one you guys just blast through screen, and it's really cool, really easy to use, but you ever only use it once to get 2 items. You don't use it twice to get 2 items, you use it once, and as you're going through the Shine Spark, you automatically collect 2 items. It would have been nice for there to have been some other times that you could have used it. And another thing you can do with the tackle move, that's what the Shine Spark is, a tackle move. You can break certain blocks. The game doesn't tell you, but you can find that out by yourself. And if you die, another interesting mechanic is your agent is resurrected as a zombie, and the new agent has to beat them to get back all the equipment. So agent dies, you spawn as a new agent, and then you have to kill the zombie to get all your equipment back. And honestly, it's an interesting mechanic, but the game doesn't really do anything else with this. So yeah, like the zombie has all your previous gear and they can use it, but I feel they could have done more with this. I think they shot themselves in the foot, because when it has all your gear, I mean it has all your gear, you have none of it. So you don't have any of your additional HP, you don't have your additional traversal moves. So when you die, you just have to go 1 screen or 2 screens and then just beat up the zombie and then get back your shit. In a better game, you know, in a more Souls-like game, to be honest, the zombie would have probably been put somewhere else in the map, and then you have to go hunt them down to get some of your equipment. Maybe half your you arrive at half health, and that way you get more of your health. Because as it is, it's just like, yeah, you go kill him, and you know, like, they don't have that much HP because they don't have all your health boxes anyways. So you just grab your shit and keep on going. What I'm trying to say, even though it's an interesting mechanic, honestly it's a non-issue. Moving on to gameplay loop, you move from point A to point B, and it's very standard to Metroidvanias, though backtracking is barely noticeable until the end game, that you go collect a couple more things and a couple more abilities to make the last boss a tad bit easier, I guess. The game has no place to refill your health, so if you ever see yourself in the red, you just gotta farm enemies or the environment for health pickups, and to me that's just fucking lame. You can go to areas where you can change your equipment to regain all your ammunition, but not your HP. Why? Imagine you going in a Metroid game or a Castlevania game, and you just, to get enemies, you just have to, to refill your health, you have to kill enemies until they release enough health pickups so you can increase your health to the maximum. And it happened to me after a boss fight. It was really fucking annoying. I was at 70 HP, but I had 8 health bars. So each health bar is 100, and the health pickups give you either 5 or 20. So I had to spend a lot of minutes just farming health pickups to regain my health. Because again, the game has no place for you to refill all your health. You know, like that's just bad design. What about replay value? It has none. Doesn't have a new game plus. It would have been fine with all previous acquired weapons. That would have been fun, because that way you get to steamroll through the game, try out critical path strats, and speed running. But no, the game doesn't have that. Once you beat the game, you get returned to the last save point. so you can't even save after the boss. And there's 50 relics you can get through the game. You get nothing for them, and I'm happy I found that out. I checked online, 50 relics, you get nothing. And I'm like, I'm not gonna collect them if they don't give me shit. Just an achievement. No thank you. It would have been fine and cool if, like, for every 5 or 10 relics you get an improvement. More armor or more ammunition. Get special abilities to the weapons, let you charge your weapons up. There's the makings for like, let me level with you. The game is good, but there was the makings for an amazing game here if they would have just gone a little bit deeper. Moving on to the graphics, they look amazing. The Super Nintendo style pixelated graphics still good as they did when I was a kid, and obviously better because since these games have more processing power, you can do a lot more with those pixels. So this game looks gorgeous. It looks great. The enemies look great. The animations for dying, killing enemies, for the guns, they're really fucking good. Even the bullets look good. What about performance? Personally, I never had an issue with this game's performance. It never slowed down or I had any bugs or it didn't have any crashes. I did read online that a lot of people experience slowdown, but I imagine that was an older build of the game. Cause I got this game in our Lord's year 2024, so I would imagine, and I played it on PS5, so I would imagine it was supposed to run fine here. But again, like, to me it ran fine, so the performance to me was excellent. What about difficulty? The beginning of the game can be a bit difficult due to the lack of weapons and health packs. But by the end of the game, personally, I was face tanking the final boss. I was just standing there and just shooting at them. I'm like, you're gonna die before I do. And I was right, because I had 10 health packs. I had an ability that would eliminate knockback, which fucking godsend, and I would just stand there and just shoot at the final boss until it died. And even then, I didn't even end up with less than half health. So in the end, I died 3 times, twice against the first boss and once against the second boss. So this game's difficulty curve, it's like a fucking slide. Now, personally, I didn't play the game in hard mode. I just played it as it was intended, quote unquote, as it came out. I just pressed start and I just started playing the fucking game, and that was it. No additional things, no weird things. I imagine the game would be a lot harder in hard mode. That would make sense. But in regular mode, like I said, at the end, I was just face tanking everything. What about music? It was good, but nothing truly memorable. The startup music when you continue a save file was loud and grating as all shit. It's almost like a jump scare sound, and I don't know why. Like, I missed the time of classic, somber, soft. You know you're continuing your adventure and you keep on going. But the one in this game, grating. I always had to lower the volume when I was gonna start the game and then pick up the volume again so I could, play the game. So again, the music was not bad. I enjoyed it, but it's nothing that I found catchy or memorable. What about fun factor? This is very personal, but personally to me, due to the lack of interesting mechanics, replay values, collectibles with any tangible rewards, not a fucking achievement, not a fucking trophy, actual rewards, this Metroidvania meanders. I found myself rushing to the end just to get it over with. It was fun, but it was just like, it was okay. Like, this game was aggressively okay. Miscellaneous. If I could give you a tip, get this game on sale if you want it. Cause let's talk about price. This game goes for about $20 USD, but it tends to go on sale frequently. I believe I got it for $5. And for $5, this game was perfectly fine. It took me about 4 hours and a half to beat the game. I know my end screen says 5.5, but like 1 out of that hour I was cooking. I just let the game running and I was outside cooking for my family. So yeah, like it took me about 4 hours and a half to beat the game completely, get everything with the exception of the relics. I don't care. I don't care about the achievements. Achievements don't do anything to me. So yeah. Is it worth it? You know, if you can wait for a sale, I say this game is totally worth it if you're a fan of Metroidvanias. Now, using my rubric, this game ends up with a score of 5.5. Completely middle of the road. As for final thoughts, regardless of the rubric and the score, this is still a decently fun game. And I'm sure many people that love Metroidvanias would really fucking enjoy it. I know I did. Just wait for a sale. And if you're new at Metroidvanias or you would like to start, this seems like an excellent entry point to the genre. If you've never tried a Metroidvania, you have a couple of bucks in your pocket, and you want to start one, yeah, give this one a chance. So you get like an idea of what other Metroidvanias are like, because like I said, the backtracking wasn't terrible. Just a little bit annoying, but it wasn't terrible. Enemies would usually go down. Don't be afraid to use your bullets because you can always get more. Eventually you get really good weapons that when you get their ammo, they basically refresh themselves because they kill enemies in one hit anyways. So yeah, go for it. The game is fine. It's more than serviceable, to be quite honest. I know I might have sounded harsh during this review, but honestly, go play it. I think it's worth it. That's it for the review. Here it is, your moment of zen.
Well. Let me guess. Spring cleaning.
Nice shot.